From the vast futuristic cities to the boldest contemporary architectural solutions, today we will immerse ourselves together in the incredible world of colossal construction sites and multi-billion investments. These projects promise to reshape the planet's landscape and already captivate the imagination with their scale. Stay with us until the very end, as ahead lies a series of fascinating stories about astonishing megaprojects all around the globe. Enjoy watching. There is a global giant called Samsung, which not only deals in gadgets and home appliances, but also advanced microchips that are ahead of their time. At a certain point, the headquarters of this giant decided to roll out an entirely new semiconductor production line to secure an even stronger hold at the top of the market and push aside all who aspire to leadership. According to the plan, this factory is being built in the state of Texas, which eventually became the focus of the whole story. They say conditions are more favorable there in terms of taxes, and there is already an existing company plant nearby, which is quite convenient. From the moment of design to the actual launch, microchip production must be continuously perfected, and the result will be a super modern site spanning several square kilometers. The key idea is that the most complex components will be created here for a wide range of smart devices, from smartphones to advanced artificial intelligence systems and other projects that once seemed like science fiction. Altogether, the expenses for constructing this plant and equipping it with high-precision equipment will amount to many tens of billions in converted foreign currency. But the company's ambitions are so high that these figures no longer surprise anyone. Such investments demonstrate the determination to remain the world leader in chip production for many years to come. In Canada, more precisely in Toronto, the idea of improving the city's transportation network has long been in the works, so that residents could move quickly through the key areas of the metropolis without excessive transfers. Thus was born a project called Eglinton Crosstown, a large-scale light rail line. Its length will exceed several dozens of kilometers, and stations will be both on the surface and deep underground. By the way, the vast majority of these stations feature modern architecture, carefully thought out. Wide platforms, spacious waiting areas with screens, convenient connections, and specifically designated areas for bicycles. Engineers promise that trains will run at quite high speeds, cutting travel time in half or even more compared to regular buses. The entire project is led by a Canadian government company, which has not only been modernizing roads and tunnels for many years, but also implementing new technologies to promote eco-friendliness and passenger convenience. At certain stages, architects from neighboring countries get involved to bring new design solutions to the station exteriors. Investments in this endeavor amount to truly astronomical sums, but the prospects are also grand. It is expected that the new line will significantly relieve the main highways and save time for millions of people. Saudi Arabia, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, has always been known for its grand visions. On the western coast, work is already in full swing on a project that promises to become one of the most luxurious resorts of modern times. Its location is the Tabuk province on the Red Sea coast, where the beaches and waters are famously warm and beautiful all year round. But it is not limited to simple hotels and entertainment. The creators aim to impress guests with unique landscapes. The local area is remarkable. Mountains, canyons, volcanic rocks can be found nearby. Add to that the excellent opportunity for diving, and we have a place that will simultaneously delight diving enthusiasts, shoppers, gourmets, and admirers of exclusive nature. The project includes many kilometers of coastal area, where hotels under various brands will be built, as well as restaurants, entertainment zones, and other infrastructure capable of satisfying the most discerning travelers. Of course, such luxury cannot be cheap. Enormous investments are allocated for this endeavor. Nevertheless, the country's authorities are convinced that all expenses will pay off, as the flow of tourists eager for new bright impressions grows almost every season. Yeah, France is not hosting the Summer Olympic Games for the first time. If many decades ago only a few sports participated in competitions in Paris, the upcoming event features many more disciplines and a significantly greater number of participants. This is a colossal test for the infrastructure. Stadiums, roads, transport, everything must meet high standards and provide comfort for both athletes and visitors. Extensive work has affected a number of iconic facilities. Some underwent major overhauls, while others only needed slight modernization. As a result, many stadiums and sports arenas acquired more modern equipment, increased capacity, and implemented the latest technological solutions. Streets and squares that will welcome numerous visitors from all around the globe have also been transformed to avoid crowding and traffic jams. When the old airport in Mumbai, India's business capital, became cramped and noisy, the government decided it was time to take action. They chose a location for the new airport nearby, in an area quickly accessible to builders. They say the idea emerged many years ago, but the official start of construction was delayed until all legal and financial matters were resolved. The plans are so ambitious that the central terminal building is supposed to resemble a lotus flower, India's national symbol. Inside, there will be enormous waiting halls featuring countless shops and restaurants, and a dedicated cargo sector with special spaces to speed up logistics. Most importantly, this new hub is intended to ease the burden on the old airport, which simply can no longer handle the growing passenger traffic. In the long term, the annual number of people served may increase many times over, which will be a real breakthrough for the region. Of course, such massive changes do not come without consequences. The natural environment had to be studied in detail to avoid harming local flora and fauna, and the project's developers made adjustments based on local characteristics. The overall cost, of course, is expressed in dizzying sums, but few doubt that it will all pay off. For the past few years, Saudi Arabia has been investing heavily not only in the oil industry and real estate, but also in leisure. As a result, the idea arose to create an entertainment city called Qiddiya. Its construction is being done in stages. The first phase will feature an ultra-modern theme park associated with a well-known brand, offering water slides, areas for extreme sports car races, and many other recreational venues. Among the future attractions, there is talk of giant roller coasters that could become the tallest and fastest in the world, as well as a huge freefall tower. The city is divided into numerous zones, sports arenas, stadiums, cultural spaces with theaters and cinemas, plus an entire complex for water sports. The project has already cost a considerable sum, and that is just the first phase of work. Authorities are confident that Qiddiya will someday become almost a second entertainment capital in the Middle East, drawing tourists and athletes from every corner of the planet. In some areas, the first facilities have already appeared, for example, a racing track that meets international standards. Throughout the project, efforts are made to use the latest eco-friendly solutions to minimize environmental impact and make the city as comfortable as possible. There are many large-scale energy projects in the United States of America, but the story of the Vogtle nuclear power plant in the state of Georgia stands out. This station has been supplying electricity to numerous consumers for quite a while. Yet the question of expanding capacity has always loomed in the background. As a result, the decision was made to add 2 more reactors capable of generating a tremendous amount of energy. Construction started many years ago and has been postponed for various reasons, from changes in safety regulations to financing adjustments and technical challenges. Yet the goal remained the same: make the station the most powerful in the country, ensuring an uninterrupted power supply for an even larger number of customers. What makes the project unique is that the most advanced technologies are used here, from cooling systems to safety systems and beyond, making the station remarkable. Naturally, expenses tied to such a complex construction have greatly exceeded the original estimates several times over, but investors continue to support the idea, believing that the long-term outlook fully justifies the costs. After all, in today's world, energy is the foundation for the development of any industry, and the Vogtle plant will be a crucial element in America's energy future. From time to time, concepts appear online that take your breath away. One such project concerns a proposed mega bridge in Japan, so large and extensive that its creators want to build an entire mini-city on it. Imagine a gigantic structure over the water where not only traffic lanes stretch out, but also residential buildings, shops, and even parks. In published renderings, it still looks somewhat futuristic and at times desolate. But the engineers and architects working on such designs suggest that eventually, if the technological base permits, this bridge could become a fully fledged residential area for a large number of people. And the structure itself would connect important regions separated by water barriers. Frankfurt am Main has long been considered the financial and cultural center of Germany, home to many offices of major corporations and international banks. In recent years, however, the city has been striving to solidify its reputation as one of Europe's most high-tech and luxurious business hubs. Thus, projects have emerged to construct an entire quartet of skyscrapers on a former plot of land once owned by a leading bank. Each tower will be unique in its height and purpose. Some will host office spaces for international companies and law firms, while others will feature luxurious apartments equipped with the latest technology. The architectural ensemble promises to be quite striking and will become a new landmark in downtown Frankfurt. On one of Japan's islands at the foot of a famous mountain, large-scale construction is already underway, a project some are calling a genuine laboratory of the future. The initiative, named Woven City, which translates to Woven City, is driven by Toyota and envisions creating a space where robots, artificial intelligence, and traditional urban life merge into a single ecological organism. Developers even plan to differentiate the streets by type: separate lanes for high-speed transport, separate lanes for cyclists and slow-moving vehicles, plus pleasant pedestrian routes for those who love strolling through the city. In addition, the buildings will be constructed from wood, combining traditional Japanese methods with modern safety techniques and integrated solar panels. Another special focus is on ecology and residents' well-being. Smart systems will monitor air quality, energy consumption, and even give tips for a healthier lifestyle. The resources spent on Woven City run into many billions when converted into foreign currency, but the idea itself could pave the way for a series of similar settlements worldwide. Mexico is famous for the ruins of the ancient Mayan civilization, as well as the picturesque coasts of the Caribbean Sea. However, all these attractions often remain out of reach for tourists due to transportation difficulties. Specifically for this purpose, a large railway called Tren Maya is being built. It is planned that it will connect popular resorts and cultural sites that are frequently overlooked by mass tourism. Stations will run across 5 Mexican states, covering several significant archaeological zones and scenic natural corners. For many travelers, the chance to easily reach previously inaccessible regions will be a genuine discovery. Notre-Dame Cathedral is a cultural landmark where the spirit of France is concentrated. Once upon a time, its breathtaking Gothic architecture, combining elegance and grandeur, attracted tourists from all over the world. But one day, a catastrophic fire broke out in the cathedral, destroying a significant part of the roof and the famous spire. The French could not stand idly by, so they immediately launched a campaign to restore this priceless monument. At first, there were proposals to give the cathedral a modern look, using glass and even crystals for the spire. However, the public insisted on preserving the historical appearance. The country's president personally assured everyone that colossal resources would be allocated for the restoration, and it would be done with the greatest possible attention to historical detail. The reconstruction turned out to be more complicated than it first seemed, as special wooden and metal elements needed to be crafted to match the original. Workers have to toil painstakingly, relying on historical drawings as well as new engineering technologies to reinforce the damaged walls and vaults. In the northwest of Saudi Arabia, amid deserts and mountains, something is being built that once seemed like a fantasy, a megacity called Neom. This will be an entire region where plans call for constructing unique facilities that combine cutting-edge technology, the highest degree of eco-friendliness, and the luxury of Middle Eastern hospitality. Its centerpiece is expected to be a colossal skyscraper stretching hundreds of kilometers in length and hundreds of meters in height. In theory, it will be a residential, commercial, and governmental center all at once, with fully developed infrastructure along its length, potentially including robots and flying taxis in the future. Several airports are planned, and some are already operational. Neom has been proclaimed a state within a state. That is how massive the project is. A host of well-known architects from around the world are participating in the design of different segments, from residential districts and floating islands to high-altitude resorts. The investments are measured in staggering sums, and the project continues to grow daily. Continuing with Australia's infrastructural ambitions, let us move to Melbourne, where work has begun on constructing 2 railway tunnels of impressive length. The main idea is to connect several overburdened lines and create new stations that will help optimize the city's transport network. According to the architect's plans, each station will be filled with natural light. Not only engineers but also famous designers were involved, aiming to make time spent in the metro truly pleasant. Inside the stations, there are plans to open shops, cafes, and small exhibition spaces so that traveling becomes a positive experience. South Korea has made enormous strides in recent decades, and one of the country's calling cards is Incheon Airport. It is located not far from Seoul and has already gained worldwide acclaim for its convenience, modernity, and high-quality service. However, time does not stand still, and the authorities decided to expand and upgrade the complex significantly. The work includes terminal expansion, additional boarding gates, as well as constructing another runway. The most advanced technologies are used, including safety systems employing artificial intelligence and smart luggage handling systems, among others. Ultimately, the passenger flow may reach incredible levels, competing with the world's largest airports. Spacious waiting halls, large parking areas, numerous restaurants and shops – these are just the tip of the iceberg. Hospitality plays a central role in Korean culture, and tourists will see this firsthand when they use all the amenities of the airport. Mumbai, as one of India's largest cities, is known for its constant traffic jams and overfilled public transport routes. To make life easier for citizens, authorities decided to construct a huge sea bridge that connects the central part of the metropolis with its rapidly growing districts. This structure has already been recognized as one of the longest of its kind in the country, even entering the global ranking of major infrastructural projects. The new bridge not only speeds up travel, but also offers picturesque views of the coast. Along its entire length, there are car lanes, and in some places, special noise barriers are installed so that engine sounds do not bother local residents or scare off rare birds that have made the coastal area their home. Engineers emphasize that construction used materials resistant to corrosion, given the humid and windy climate in this part of India. For many residents, the bridge has been a real lifeline, cutting travel time to key city destinations several times over. There are also rest stops where one can pause to admire the sea view. Naturally, the project's costs are high, since the bridge's length and complexity are impressive, but the effect is already tangible. Traffic has eased, and people save a great deal of time and nerves. In the northern part of the New York borough of Queens, a relatively small but extremely busy airport called LaGuardia has operated for many years. Over time, it could not keep up with the increased passenger flow, and its cramped terminals led to constant complaints. Hence, the plan for a complete overhaul emerged. An architectural team presented a design featuring 2 island-style waiting areas connected by pedestrian bridges. This format made it possible to add more boarding gates and organize spacious halls. Now there are high ceilings, wide corridors, bright check-in zones, restaurants, and boutiques. Possibly one of the most striking features is the bridges over the area where planes are parked. As you walk through a glass corridor, The taxiways are right beneath your feet, and the planes seem almost within arm's reach. Although the project is expensive, it is already being touted as an example of how outdated infrastructure can be transformed into a modern international hub. Passengers who once often complained about inconvenience can now enjoy a completely different travel experience. Dubai used to be a quiet fishing village but has now turned into a megacity with a number of skyscrapers that goes beyond all imagination. Architects there never cease to amaze the world with new projects. One of the latest ideas is the Ciel Tower Hotel, shaped like a giant rectangular arch with smoothly rounded edges. Its height surpasses many of the existing towers in the city. Inside, there are plans to have hundreds of hotel rooms ranging from budget-friendly to premium penthouses. And at the very top, a panoramic observation deck with a pool will be installed. From there, tourists can admire the dynamic views of the growing metropolis and the legendary sands in the distance. But that is not all. They intend to build a proper marina nearby, so guests can moor luxurious yachts right at the foot of the skyscraper. Implementing all this will require time and colossal investments, yet once again, Dubai shows its intention to be not just a city, but a global showcase for the most daring architectural ideas. The project is being developed by well-known British specialists who also contributed to other iconic Emirati structures. It seems nothing is impossible for Dubai when it comes to new ultra-modern buildings. A Spanish football club with historic roots acquired its stadium back in the middle of the past century. At that time, it was simply a huge venue capable of accommodating crowds of fans. But times change, and the famous Santiago Bernabeu was slated for a total upgrade. A key step was demolishing nearby shops and reconfiguring the surrounding area. Now there is a spacious boulevard and a more organic environment for strolling before and after matches. But the main surprise is the stadium's renewed appearance, which has taken on a strikingly futuristic design. It is as if the building has been clothed in a metallic shell made of flexible panels that can display various visual effects. Additionally, the arena received a retractable roof, allowing events to be held in any weather. Inside, everything is outfitted with state-of-the-art technology, from an improved video broadcasting system to new VIP sections and expanded stands for regular fans. Sometimes, the economic and social development of two countries is best illustrated by bridges that literally connect different states. One such project is the Gordie-Howe Bridge, which began construction several years ago to establish a direct route between Detroit in the United States of America and Windsor in Canada. It is named after an outstanding Canadian hockey player revered by sports fans on both sides of the border. Engineers chose a cable-stayed design, giving the bridge a graceful silhouette and allowing it to bear serious loads. Powerful A-shaped pylons will be placed on the riverbanks, with a roadway stretched between them. The designers promise that its capacity will be more than sufficient for both freight and passenger traffic, and a pedestrian zone as well as a bicycle path will also be included. The main goal is to ease trade and passenger travel because the current route across the border is not always convenient or quick. The world is changing before our eyes, and judging by the pace at which such mega objects are erected, we can expect even more astonishing stories in the future. Stay informed and be ready to be amazed again and again in our upcoming episodes.